The four philosophical causes. When examining things in terms of logic or developing thought processes or applying the faculties of judgment to things, we're typically examining cause and effect. Now, this is familiar to most people. Everything that happens for a reason. It has a cause. Something makes it happen. And whatever the cause is that makes something happen, there was a cause for that too, and so on and so on. Now, by cause, we mean something that brings about an effect or a result. So anything that has a result, anything that has any kind of effect is a cause. So when we're making an analytic scheme to analyze something, we look to cause and effect because causes help us understand the why of things. Why does something happen? There's a reason why something happens. And if you identify the cause, you can identify the reason for that thing, and then the reason for the preceding cause, and so on. You can reason your way back through cause and effect. But oftentimes there's disagreement about what causes things or how it causes things. Aristotle clarified this type of analytic scheme into four different kinds of why questions you might ask about how something is caused, and thus four different kinds of causes. He called these four causes the material cause, material being so called for matter, has to do with the matter of a thing or the stuff it's composed of. The formal cause, which has to do with the form, the abstract arrangement of a thing. The efficient cause, which is the agent that moves with the actual event that causes motion or effect. And the final cause, and that is the purpose or end of a thing. So if we ask a question about something like baking bread, we might ask, what is the cause of this loaf of bread? We might look at that in several different ways. We might say, well, this bread is composed of flour and salt and yeast and water. So that's the matter of the bread. That's what it is. That's its cause. That's the material cause. You might say the matter, however, was put together in a certain recipe. It had a form. It was combined in certain amounts. There was an abstract plan. And when that plan was put into place, that's what caused the matter to become the actual finished loaf of bread. It had to follow that form. That's the formal cause. Or you could say the efficient cause, that's the agent that actually made it. So the baker, that's the cause of why that bread exists because somebody baked it. And the final cause is, what is it for? Well, it's for eating. Somebody's hungry. So the bread has a purpose of being eaten. That's what it's for, and therefore that's its final cause. Looking at things in these four ways can help you break down a really elementary understanding of things and the relationship to other things in terms of cause and effect. This is indeed elementary to clear thinking. So we can apply these four causes to get a better and more thorough understanding of something. Let's look at the question, why does this table exist? Taking a particular object, a table, and examining it under the four different aspects, the four causes. Well, its material cause, it exists because it's made out of wood and fasteners. That's the material, the matter of it, or any other such material that might compose a table. This particular table might be glass and metal, or it might be wood and fasteners. Depends on which one you're talking about. But that's what makes it what it is in a material sense. The formal sense, the formal cause of the table is its design, the plan that was used to give it its shape and measurements. The formal cause exists in an abstract sense. In other words, there's an idea of this table being what it was before the table itself existed. And the craftsman made the table in accordance with that form, with that plan. That's the formal cause. And the efficient cause is the craftsman that made it. The table exists because a carpenter built it. The final cause is, what is it for? The table exists so that people have a flat surface to eat or work on. So one of the classic problems of philosophy is the thought experiment called Theseus's ship. This relates to a story told by Plutarch that the Greek hero Theseus, when he returned from his adventures in Crete, his famous ship was preserved by the Athenians, but over time, they kept it on display. But over time, as different planks rotted, they were replaced. As the oars rotted, they were replaced. The old ropes decayed and they were replaced. And eventually, the entire ship had been replaced. And so the old logical question was, is the ship that's there now the same ship? Is that actually Theseus's ship? Can we say that is his ship, or is it a different ship? And this addresses the question of what makes something what it is. If you take something that exists and you gradually replace all its parts, once the last part is replaced, does that thing still exist, or is it a new thing? This is the thought experiment of Theseus's ship. And this has been a puzzle for philosophers, and they've taken different sides and different perspectives on it. But if you think about it in terms of Aristotle's four causes, it becomes much easier to think about. What might you say is actually being changed? And what might you say stays the same? You can think about it in specific terms and make careful delineations so you can determine exactly what you mean by Theseus's ship. You would have to define what that is. And then you can identify which elements of that, which of its causes, which of its constituent parts, being so defined, fit into that question. And you might come at it that way. So I'll let you think about that question and try and work it out for yourself.